Good morning, one and all. Again, we'll continue with the different types of the convoluted properties of the Fourier transforms. Properties of the Fourier transform. The first one is the convolution property. In the convolution property, first x1 of t whose Fourier transform as x1 of omega, and the x2 of t whose Fourier transform as x2 of omega, and we'll take the convolution of the two signals x1 of t convolution with the x2 of t whose Fourier transform as x1 of omega into x2 of omega. Generally the convolution between the two signals will be given as from minus infinity to infinity x1 of tau, x2 of t minus tau d tau. And taking the Fourier transform of that one, that means we'll get the double integration and substitute in the convolution formula and d tau e power minus j omega t dt. Now change the order of the integrations. First take the integration with respect to tau. That's why minus infinity to infinity x1 of tau. Next minus infinity to infinity x2 of t minus tau e power minus j omega t dt d tau. Next one is substitute the t minus tau as the p and dt is equal to dp. Then we'll get the second integration from minus infinity to infinity x2 of p e power minus j omega p plus tau dp d tau. Then this particular integration will be given as x2 of p e power minus j omega p dp into corresponding e power minus j omega tau d tau. Then when we substitute the corresponding e power minus j omega tau as in the first part, then this particular second integration will be nothing but our x2 of omega, which is from the definition of our x2 of t, and the remaining integral will be nothing but our x1 of omega, and this particular x1 of omega and x2 of omega will be producted in the frequency domain while we take the convolution in the time domain. That is the convolution in the time domain whose Fourier transform will be multiplication in the frequency domain. Next comes to the duality property, x of t whose Fourier transform as capital X of omega. Now the capital X of t whose Fourier transform as 2 pi into x of minus omega. That is the duality property. Further consider the x of t which is 1 by 2 pi from minus infinity to infinity x of omega e power j omega t d omega. Then take this 2 pi to this side and write the x of the same as this. Now replace the t with respect to minus t. That means e power j omega t will be written as e power minus j omega t. Then interchange the t with respect to the omega and omega with respect to t. Therefore, the left side will become the 2 pi x of minus omega. On the right side, the capital X of t e power minus j t into omega dt. Then the right side will be nothing but the Fourier transform of capital X of t, which is nothing but the 2 pi into x of minus omega. That is the duality property. Capital X of t whose Fourier transform as 2 pi into x of minus omega. That is the duality property. Next one is the conjugate property. Fourier transform x of t whose Fourier transform as x of omega and x star of t whose Fourier transform as x star of minus omega. That's x of omega which is equal to Fourier transform of x of t from minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Then take the complex conjugate of that particular one. That entire expression will take the complex conjugate. Therefore, x star of omega on left side, and the integration will have the complex conjugate on the right side. And that right side integration will be split into the two parts as x star of t and e power j omega t. Then replacing the omega by the minus omega. Then x star of minus omega is equal to integral of minus infinity to infinity x star of t e power minus j omega t dt. And it will be nothing but our Fourier transform of x star of t. That's the Fourier transform of x star of t will be equal to Fourier transform of that is x star of minus omega. Simply saying that x star of t whose Fourier transform as x star of minus omega. That's the proof of the conjugation property. Next one is Parseval's theorem. In the Parseval's theorem, let consider that x1 of t whose Fourier transform as x1 of omega and x2 of t whose Fourier transform as x2 of omega. Take the integral from minus infinity to infinity x1 of t, x2 star of t dt, which is equal to 1 by 2 pi from minus infinity to infinity x1 of omega, x2 star of omega d omega. Take this is not the Fourier transform. The left side will be equal to the right side. Therefore, take the LHS and substitute what is x1 of t. x1 of t is equal to 1 by 2 pi from minus infinity to infinity x1 of omega e power j omega t d omega, and x2 star of t dt as is. And x1 of omega, change the order of the integrations. Write the 1 by 2 pi integral of minus infinity to infinity x1 of omega. Second one is from minus infinity to infinity x2 star of t e power j omega t dt and d omega. Then perform the integration of that particular one by taking the whole complex conjugate. That will be nothing but our x2 of omega. Then the first equation has x1 of omega only, whole complex conjugate. That is nothing but our RHS part. That's 1 by 2 pi from minus infinity to infinity, x1 of omega, x2 star of omega, d omega is nothing but RHS part. That is the Parseval's theorem which states that. Hence the proof that one. This Parseval's theorem can also be proved as x1 of t equal to x2 of t is equal to x of t, x1 of omega is equal to x2 of omega is equal to x of omega, and the left side will be nothing but x of t x star of t dt is equal to 1 by 2 pi minus infinity to infinity x of omega x star of omega d omega, which will be given as x of t x star of t dt will be nothing but mod of x of t whole square dt, and right side also same for mod of x of omega whole square. This is the equation of the energy expression. E is equal to minus infinity to infinity mod of x of t whole square dt, which is equal to 1 by 2 pi from minus infinity to infinity mod of x of omega whole square d omega. That is nothing but our energy of the signal. These are the properties of the Fourier transforms. Now we'll see the Fourier transform of any periodic signal. Generally, the Fourier transform of any periodic signal will be founded by considering our exponential Fourier series. Let us consider an f of t which is nothing but a periodic signal. This f of t can be represented in exponential Fourier series as f of t is equal to summation from n varies from minus infinity to infinity fn e power j n omega naught t, where while taking the Fourier transform on both sides, where fn will be a constant, we can keep it outside. We can take the Fourier transform of e power j n omega naught t, which is nothing but the 2 pi into delta of omega minus n omega naught. Therefore, we'll get the 2 pi into summation n varies from minus infinity to infinity fn delta of omega minus n omega naught. Here it is n omega naught. That Fourier transform indicates it is nothing but consists of a trine of equally spaced samples. It's nothing but a trine of impulses function. For any periodic signal, Fourier transform is nothing but it's a trine of impulses function will be produced from this one. From here, where the fn will be nothing but our Fourier series coefficient, which is 1 by t from 0 to t f of t e power minus j n omega naught t dt. That is the Fourier transform of the periodic signal. Next one is the Hilbert transform. Hilbert transform will be defined by the two statements. One is when the phase angles for all the positive frequencies are being shifted to minus 90 degrees and the phase angles of the negative frequencies are shifted to plus 90 degrees, then the resulting function of time will be nothing but our Hilbert transform. And where the amplitude function will not be changed, only the phase function will be changed. That will be generally given by the x cap of t is equal to, which is the convolution of x of t convolution with 1 by pi t, where 1 by pi it will be a constant. Therefore, take the integration from minus infinity to infinity x of tau 1 by t minus tau, which is nothing but our convolution formula d tau. Then for performing the Fourier transform, let us consider 1 by pi t Fourier transform as minus j into signum of omega, and the signum of omega will be defined as 1 for omega greater than 0 and minus 1 for omega less than 0. And the Fourier transform of the Hilbert transform, that is x cap of t, will be given as x of t convolution with 1 by pi t, taking the Fourier transform on both sides. Right side will have the Fourier transform of x of t convolution with 1 by pi t. That means convolution in time domain will be equal to multiplication in the frequency domain. But the Fourier transform of x of t and the Fourier transform of 1 by pi t, there should be a multiplication. That's x of omega into minus j into signum of omega. Then where my signum of omega will be written as will be taken as 1 for the power omega greater than 0, and x of signum of omega will be taken as minus 1 for omega less than 0. Therefore, when the x cap of omega will be equal to minus j into x of omega for omega greater than 0 and j into x of omega for omega less than 0. Then this minus indicates that for all the positive frequencies, that is for the omega greater than 0, the phase angle is being shifted by minus 90 degrees, and the plus j indicates that for all the negative frequencies, that is omega less than 0, the phase angle is being shifted by plus 90 degrees. From these two statements, it indicates that x cap of t is nothing but the for Hilbert transform of the corresponding x of t. By the Hilbert transform, an x of t will be converted into x cap of t. That is, one time domain signal will be converted into the same time domain. But generally, the relation between these two will be given as x cap of t is equal to x of t convolution with the 1 by pi. Now, from our Fourier series analysis, we have proved that for the positive frequencies, it will be shifted by minus 90 degrees. For the negative frequencies, it will be shifted by the plus 90 degrees. Thank you. These are the topics what we have seen, some properties and the Fourier transform of periodic signal and the Hilbert transform. Thank you.